In 1996, a 12-year-old Mark Zuckerberg sat in his family's Dobbs Ferry, New York home, teaching himself Atari Basic from a For Dummies book. His dentist father noticed the obsession and hired a software developer to tutor young Mark weekly. Within months, the student surpassed the teacher, building ZuckNet, a primitive messaging system that connected the family's computers. At Phillips Exeter Academy, the introverted teen created Synapse, a music player that learned listeners' habits using AI years before Spotify existed. Microsoft offered $1 million for it. Mark said no. "I build things because I like building," he told stunned classmates. That pattern, creating over cashing in, would define his life. Harvard's Kirkland House dorm room, AH-33, became tech's most famous address in 2004. Amid empty soda cans and philosophy textbooks, Zuckerberg launched the Facebook, a clean, exclusive network for Ivy League students. The site spread like wildfire, but controversy followed when classmates accused him of stealing their Harvard connection idea, later settled for $65 million. What critics missed: Zuckerberg's unique vision. Where others saw a college directory, he saw humanity's digital town square. When Facebook opened to the public in 2006, his manifesto declared, "We're making the world more open." Few believed him until 1 billion users proved him right. Facebook's meteoric rise came with deep scars that would test both the company and its young founder. The first major crisis hit in 2012 when Facebook's highly anticipated IPO, expected to be a triumphant validation of Zuckerberg's vision, instead became a humiliating stumble as shares plummeted 50% in just months, wiping out billions in market value. This Wall Street reckoning was followed by an even more damaging scandal in 2018, when the world learned how Cambridge Analytica had harvested data from 87 million profiles to manipulate elections, turning Facebook's promise of connection into a privacy nightmare. The darkest moment came in 2021, when whistleblower Frances Haugen walked into Congress armed with thousands of internal documents, her testimony painting a damning portrait of a company that had repeatedly prioritized growth over user safety. Yet through each crisis, Zuckerberg displayed the same unflappable demeanor that had become his trademark. Colleagues recall surreal scenes of the CEO calmly reviewing lines of code during congressional hearings, treating existential threats like technical bugs to be fixed. "Mark processes criticism like software," observed Sheryl Sandberg. "First comes the diagnosis, then the update, then you move forward. No drama, just solutions." This stubborn persistence, while often frustrating to critics, would ultimately see Facebook evolve into Meta and weather storms that might have sunk lesser companies. The boy who had built ZuckNet for his family was now debugging a platform used by billions, still approaching problems with the same methodical intensity that had defined him since childhood. Behind Zuckerberg's unprecedented success lies a trio of disciplined habits that transformed a college project into a digital civilization. 1. The annual challenge. Since 2009, Zuckerberg sets a yearly self-improvement goal. Learning Mandarin became conversational, reading 25 books, discovered JFK biographies, meeting someone new daily, broke his introversion. 2. Code as meditation. Even as CEO, he spends over 100 hours per year programming. "Hackathons are my creative outlet," he told Lex Fridman. In 2021, he live-coded the Meta logo change in VR. The third, long-term grit. When Instagram and WhatsApp founders quit, Zuckerberg doubled down on his 10-year vision, betting $36 billion on the metaverse despite Wall Street's skepticism. Beneath the hoodie-wearing persona lies a paradox, a shy technologist obsessed with bringing people together. His Harvard roommate, Joe Green, recalls, "Mark believed if people understood each other better, wars would stop." This idealism fuels his controversial bets, from Internet.org, free global internet, to neural wristbands for telepathic typing. Today, Zuckerberg's creations have woven themselves into the fabric of global society in ways both monumental and intimate. Nearly 4 billion people, half of humanity, now use Meta's platforms each month, making his digital empire more populous than any nation in history. With a personal fortune exceeding $140 billion in accolades, including Times Person of the Year, the quantitative measures of his success are staggering. Yet Zuckerberg's true legacy may lie in the quieter revolutions, Facebook posts that fueled the Arab Spring's demand for democracy, WhatsApp messages that became lifelines during developing world crises, and VR technology that now bridges generations by allowing Holocaust survivors to share their stories with students in immersive classrooms. These unseen connections form the paradox of his impact. A man who built systems capable of both toppling governments and reuniting refugee families, often within the same algorithmic architecture. The full measure of his legacy may take generations to calculate, as the world continues grappling with his fundamental question. Does bringing humanity closer together inevitably mean pulling privacy further apart? As AI and the metaverse redefine reality, Zuckerberg, at 39, remains tech's most polarizing architect. Critics call him reckless. Supporters see a modern visionary. His story asks the uncomfortable question, does humanity's connective tissue require sacrificing privacy? As he told Congress, we're writing the rules as we go. For better or worse, those rules will shape how billions live. Is Zuckerberg a visionary or villain? Leave your comment below.